Jumbo fellow adventurers, Mike Dooley, and time for a spiritual tune-up. Thanks for your patience. I was just sitting here waiting, and then I realized I waited beyond the 9:15 start time. First time that happened. Today's question is awesome. Thank you all for your amazing questions that you post below Facebook or Instagram on the day of a broadcast. They could be my talking points within 24 hours. Today's question is about manifesting and parenting. The questioner realizes that I have a 7-year-old daughter right now, and so there's some things I've learned, perhaps with a metaphysical twist, that I might be able to impart. I will do my best. I'm still a beginner at this, if you will. But at first glance, the question I thought was going to go a different way. Like, how can I live my dreams when I've got mouths to feed? So I'm going to answer that secondarily, because that was not the main thrust of the question. The main thrust of the question, in the questioner's words, Mike, we can't tie particular outcomes to specific people. I get that. Not even children. This is what I teach. They're going to make their own decisions. You're just there to kind of be a guide rail, if you will. But as parents, Mike, our job is to guide our children towards good choices, being good people, creating opportunities for themselves. I would like to manifest a situation where I'm not so frustrated and concerned with my kid and his poor performance in school. He's gifted, but lazy. He's also 11 years old. All right, so I've got a number of thoughts for the parent in you, and then I've got a couple of thoughts for the parent in all of us that wants to live on our terms while being responsible for others. First, to help the kid. And if you don't have kids right now, or maybe you've already had them and that phase is past, some of what I'm about to share will pertain to the kid that's still inside of you. All right? First off, as you well know, no kid is the same. And I'm not implying that you think so. But I want you to understand, and I want other parents in particular to understand, who don't have kids that are in the top percentile but lazy, as you do, as stated, to realize that different folks will thrive in different environments. And sometimes we bloom late. Sometimes we bloom super late. But as a note from the universe once said, the longer it takes to bloom, the more beautiful it is. For so many reasons, particularly having finally had that eureka moment and you found your way. It's like, what's better than getting to the top of the mountain? But getting there after having first been lost. And so perhaps this is you. Perhaps it's your kid. And just because you're lost, or your kid might be lost, doesn't mean they can't enjoy the journey now. Maybe the other kids are maturing faster. Maybe they're more focused. Maybe they're more analytical. Maybe they're better in school than your kid will ever be. But your kid has gifts outside of school or in other realms where they will be so lit up that the laziness will transpire and fade away. So I would say just hang in there. Not any kid can fold a certain template and be well-rounded, and that is perhaps their greatest advantage. Through patience, you can help them find their place in the sun. Through redirecting, you can help them find their traction. Through not insisting that they be good at math, but knocking on different doors. Patience is a big thing here as well. Just patience in and of itself. The son here is 11 years old. I can tell you, as I just shared, that I did not begin thinking for myself, thinking analytically. And if I can say something, maybe that's a bit arrogant, I was never the sharpest tool. I was never the straight A student. But when I got in the world and was standing on my own 2 feet, and I started thinking and rationalizing and deducing and using my intuition, I became so much smarter, to the degree that I figured stuff out that the smart people, in my not so humble opinion, I figured stuff out that the smart people, in my opinion, have not figured out. Just the nature of reality, who we are. And sometimes it takes being alone without the guidance to kind of kick yourself in the butt and say, it's it's go time. So a lot of patience here, a lot of liberal attitudes in finding and experimenting with different possibilities. Now, going back to the child, my daughter is 7, your son is 11, or the child within. And again, I don't want to be implying that you do this, but I have found, okay, that giving deadlines and promising rewards, if they make their bed or they do this, or is really almost a futile effort. They're so in the moment that a reward that's going to come later on is like, that's not now. That's not reality. That's like maybe, and my daughter will zone out and get distracted. What I have found, and this might seem like cheating, I think to other parents, they have told me, like my wife, do stuff with them. Like my daughter has very little homework, but there is homework every day. And I never ask her to do her homework before screen time or play time or dance time. At bedtime, before the fun books and the cool games, we do 5 to 20 minutes of spelling and math, arithmetic. In the morning, when it's time to organize her room and make her bed before she leaves, I do it with her. I do the homework with her. Maybe it's a crutch, but she's 7, okay? And I see already that there are times when I'm not there to help her make her bed, that she's doing it. So don't give edicts, not that you are, but participate in the moment. Sometimes the reward is your giving them a hand in the now and not later on. Of course, parents need to be the example. And what I mean here is you might explain to your child from time to time, I really don't want to do this task, but if I do it, then I'm going to be better and I'm going to have free time and we'll be able to do something on the weekend. And so I show that there's a correlation between, okay, this is not fun right now, but it's going to make stuff possible. I use that with words and imaginings as well. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's say, I always remember the answer. I always know how to do the math. Instead of, I hate math, I'm no good at math, I have a terrible memory. I am shocked, as I have shared earlier, that by telling her the power of her words, that she immediately starts making modifications so that she doesn't feel the resistance that the words actually created. Don't underestimate the power of praise. Sometimes I feel like I'm a broken record, giving her an award for coming in 6th place, everything she does. But when you forget sometimes, I can see her look at me like, that was good, I did good, Daddy. And I'll march her around the house on my shoulders because she got all of her math and arithmetic right, to the other grown-ups in the house. And I have became aware after the fact how powerful that was for her. So praise, celebrate the little victories. Now for the parents, really quickly. When you want your dreams to come true, but you've got mouths to feed and bills to pay and you're torn every direction, remember, you're living one of the biggest, best dreams come true of your life so far. And perhaps you're not giving yourself credit for it. Praise that inner child. You've got your family started. You've got somebody who looks up to you. You've got a house that you're putting in order for them to the best of your ability, in spite highs and lows. You're living a huge dream come true right now. And living a dream come true doesn't mean it's tiptoeing through the tulips, yee-hawing, woo-hooing 24/7. There's still going to be lessons. There's still going to be organization. There's still going to be self-discipline. You're living one of your greatest dreams right now, as a parent, as a role model, as a best friend. And yeah, it's tricky and it's daunting. And yes, you have other things you want to bring to pass to give your family a better life. But this pandemic has shown me one thing, and that is sometimes hanging out in the yard and camping in a tent is way better than spending an entire day at the Magic Kingdom. Sometimes it's the simplest things and not the expensive things, not the all-out, 5-star vacation experience. It's just being present with family now. So don't discount No matter who you are, parent or not a parent, don't discount the dreams you're living today that not that long ago you wondered if they'd ever see the light of day. And as you enjoy this dream that's come true, you'll be in a much better mindset and much more believing in yourself, much more buoyant and happy, biding your time and being patient automatically because you enjoy what's going on to thereby help other dreams come true. So continue to dream for abundance and health and recovery and a new relationship if you're a single parent, joy and sharing. But realize this is a dream come true that requires a lot of hand holding in the most literal of ways. And also remember that being a parent, I don't even like to think of this one myself, but it's temporary. You know, to the degree that it's demanding from your life right now. Okay, once a parent, always the parent. But the opportunity and the golden moments now where there's growth and hand-holding and still being called daddy and it's fleeting. And in a blink, it's going to be behind you. You know, and he or she will be off and living on their own somewhere else. And, you know, you just hope they call you once a week kind of thing. And so while there are sacrifices, these are also joys that you will miss one day. So it's temporary, and don't worry that you can't spin too many plates at one time because of this big dream that already came true. And I think that's good enough for now. Thanks so much for these awesome, amazing questions. Please post below. I look forward to answering your question tomorrow. Facebook, Instagram, and then the archives also go on YouTube. Taliho amigo, hasta pronto, te amo. Thank you, Winnie, Susan, Nelson, Jane, Nancy, Penne, in the house. Long time no see. On Instagram, Betsy, essentially happy mama. Okay, that's a role model. And Jen is here. Okay, Raj, tally ho. See you tomorrow.